And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this fusion class, the first for me on our YouTube channel. Hope you are looking forward to this little workout here. It is going to be yoga focused with some strength and a little more higher intensity or higher tempo movements that are just integrated together. So we get the yoga aspect, but we also get some of the strength aspect as well. As the title screen said, all you need today is a yoga mat. No other or additional equipment needed or necessary. This is a 30-minute class, so we will get warmed up and get the nervous system woken up a little bit too, and then we'll get into our workout. So let's begin with our warm-up. So just standing on your mat, right in the middle or at the end of it. Good morning, Amy. Just a nice forward fold, a swan dive here. So that nice tall, relaxed position. We'll start with that arm swing up overhead. And then as we swing the arms down, forward fold, down, sweeping the arms, and then standing back up with that full. We'll do two more here. And on the last one, we'll hold that forward fold position and just hang. While we're hanging here, go ahead and twist over top of that hip bone from side to side. And after we've done an equal number, let's recenter ourselves and push through the ground and forward fold back up into that tall position. And we'll seamlessly move into shoulder circles. go ahead and switch directions. And as you come to these last couple, go ahead and start stepping out nice and wide into that wide stance here. Now taking our body, we're just going to shift our weight into a side lunge, back and forth, from left to right. With each one sinking down a little bit further, trying to keep both feet flat on the floor. Side, our right side, and then our left. And then in this wide stance, we'll forward fold down to the center and hold. And from here, walking our hands over to our right side. And then walking our hands over to the left. And then walk the hands back to the center, and then push through the ground, stand back up. Let's move to the end of our mat here. For this next warm-up, a nice forward fold or a swan dive down at the hips. We'll come down, hands to the floor, and we'll walk the hands out into plank momentarily, down to the floor into cobra. And then curling the toes back into the mat. Walking the hands back to the feet, and again, that forward fold back up. And we'll repeat. So again, forward fold down, hands to the mat. Walk the hands out to plank, to the floor, into cobra. Let's do two more here. And last one, forward fold down. Walk the hands to plank and lower yourself into cobra. Back. Excellent. A couple chair poses here, so if you'd like to bring yourself back to that middle of your yoga mat. A nice reach, sending the hips back. Trying to keep the hips up and legs relatively straight. We'll do one more. Widen the feet just slightly. And now we will squat and reach the arms up overhead. 2 more here. Excellent. Into some arm circles here. So whether you start backwards or forwards. And switch directions when you're ready. And release. And last warm-up exercise here. We'll squat down. And as we stand up, reaching over and across in that lateral flexion. We'll squat again, and we'll alternate right to left. And we'll do one more to each side. Go ahead and relax. If you'd like to do any more stretches, go ahead and do so. For our workout here, as I mentioned before, yoga movements, and primarily yoga movements with some integration with some strength movements as well. So I will have the timer going. Every exercise will be done for 40 seconds, and then there will be that 15-second rest or transition as I explain the movement. So while you wait, you can stay in child's pose, you can stay kneeling or standing in mountain pose, depending on where we're at within the workout. So, introduction to the first exercise, it's a downward dog with a knee tuck. So we'll be down on our mat with our hips up in the air. From downward dog position, we'll raise one leg up, that big reach, and then tucking the knee underneath the body. And then pushing back into downward dog, swinging the leg back up overhead. And we'll do that for all 40 seconds on that one side. So let me get the timer started, and we'll begin with that downward dog knee tuck. So pushing back, hips up to the ceiling, and again, reaching the leg high, and then bringing the knee underneath the body in that plank position. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So feel free for these few seconds, stay in child's pose as we prepare for the other side. So pushing up into downward dog, and again, raising the leg and bringing the knee, tucking it under the body. Maintain that good breathing. Inhale as you prepare, and exhale as you bring the leg underneath you. Go ahead and stand, and feel free to be in mountain pose here. With this one, it's a warrior 3 flow. So we'll bring one leg up, holding it nice and strong and steady. And then we'll swing the leg back, reaching the arms forward into warrior 3. And then bringing ourselves back into that high knee position. the strength consideration with this one is the hinging movement during in that warrior 3, using the glutes and the hamstrings to return the body back to that standing position. Excellent. Again, standing in mountain pose if you'd like. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So leading with the knee, extending and bringing yourself back to that tall position. Squeezing the glutes to bring you back to that tall standing position. Excellent. Now to the front of your mat here. A somewhat burpee type movement here. But we'll take each piece step by step. So we're down, we'll hop our feet back, we'll hop our feet back in, and that forward fold as you come back up. Feel free to take this one as steps back and steps back in as you stand back up. Very good. Into a warrior flow here between warrior 2 and triangle. So we'll step back, opening up the hips into our warrior 2 position. We'll begin here, shifting the weight forward, and then coming back to that nice tall straight leg position, and then tipping forward and back. Triangle, tip. And as we're going here, develop that pace. Nice and smooth. It's still flowing through each movement. So go ahead, either stay in mountain pose or step back into that split stance, preparing for the other side. And that warrior 2 weight shift forward, legs are straight, and then hinging at the hip into triangle. All right, let's come down to the floor here, onto our sides. Keeping the feet stacked, the elbow underneath our armpit. We'll swing the arm up, doing a side hip bridge, and then returning back to the floor. And again, inhale, prepare. Exhale as you bridge. Perfect. Go ahead and roll to the other side or flip to the other side. And we'll do the same thing, feet stacked. Inhale, prepare. Raise the hips. As you lift up into that side plank. And now coming into the center of the mat here, downward dog into a push-up. So as you push back into downward dog, we'll come out into that plank and we'll do 2 push-ups. Stop halfway, stop close to the floor, and then pushing back into downward dog. And now back on our feet into a twisting chair. We'll bring those hands to that heart center position. And we'll squat down, turning and rotating across to our other leg. Coming back up, pushing through the ground, reaching towards the ceiling. And then again, twisting, standing up each time, sinking the hips down like a squat. Inhale, prepare, exhale as you move down into that twist. Perfect. Good morning, Suzanne. We'll go back to the top here. So that downward dog with the knee tuck. And again, in between these two, feel free to hang out in child's pose. Again, sticking with a pace that you're comfortable with. If you'd like to pause between repetitions, go ahead and do so in downward dog. So again, temporarily hanging out in child's pose if you'd like, or if you'd like to stay in downward dog. But we'll prepare for that other side. And we'll stand up back on our feet for that warrior 3 flow. So again, high knee, maintaining that balance, and then swinging the arms up overhead as we extend into that warrior 3 position. back to mountain pose. Relax as we prepare for the other side. So raising the leg up, maintaining that good balance. Right, coming to that front of the mat here for that plank hop up. Remember, this is very similar to a burpee, but take this one pause between each position. So that kind of forward fold down, placing the hands on the mat and hopping back to plank or stepping back and then standing back up with that full reach up to the ceiling. Each time pushing through the ground. And if you're not already, back on your feet. We'll step back into that split stance, preparing for our warrior two position with the weight shift and then followed by triangle. And at each warrior two position, inhale and then exhale as you go into the movement. And again, step together. You can stay in mountain pose, and we'll switch and do the same thing on the other side. Shifting the weight forward, legs stay straight, hinging over the hips into triangle. Come down to the mat here as we go into our side hip lift. So stacking the feet in a nice straight position from head to heel. We'll exhale as we lift the hip and then inhale, prepare. This can also be done on your knee by tucking in that inside knee. Then we'll flip to the other side. Inhale, prepare, exhale as you lift the hips up off the floor. staying on the floor here, preparing for downward dog with that 2-stop push-up. So pushing forward into that plank position, and 2 stops as you lower, and pushing back. If you need to at any point, feel free as you come into that plank position, come down to your knees and do those 2-stop push-ups on your knees, and then push back into and back on our feet here for our twisting chair. So hands to heart center. And we'll raise the fingertips and hands to the ceiling. And then squatting down as we twist. Trying to rotate that elbow, that opposite outside leg. Go ahead and find yourself on the floor in child's pose here. We'll take a couple minutes to cool down and relax. So again, pushing back into child's pose. And just allow your breathing to come back to a normal rate. And when you're ready, go ahead and push yourself forward into that tabletop position. And we'll go into our first cat. So pressing the back up to the ceiling, tucking the hips underneath us, and very fitting with the supervisor here. And when you're ready, go ahead and push back into child's pose one more time. And back to that tabletop position. And we'll rotate the hips, lift the head and chest out. Then go ahead and let's go back into downward dog. And with this one, focusing on pressing the heels into the floor. And if you'd like to, you can pedal those feet, pressing one heel at a time. Last one here. We'll bring one leg forward. We'll be in that half kneeling position. We'll squeeze the glutes and rotate the hip bone up underneath us. And then once you feel that hip flexor stretch, go ahead and lock in the hips. and release that side. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Final stretch here. So we'll squeeze the glute muscles, rotate the hip bone up underneath us, and lock in the hips, stretching out the hip flexor. And release, and stand up. And that is it for our fusion session today. Thanks everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed our fusion session this morning. Like I said, I don't get to teach yoga or fusion all that often, but it is a treat to get to do some of those yoga movements, especially integrated with some strength or some higher tempo movements. So Amy, Suzanne, thanks for being here. Everyone else that was here as well, thank you. And I will see you guys again soon. Take care.